Hey guys, it's Sonia. You'll never know what you'll find here on my workbench. If you saw my live that I did when we were crossing to Newfoundland on the ferry, you'll know exactly what this is and how I used it. Yes, best splurge ever. I got myself a neck rest, one of those things that you put around your neck. Had a little button right here, and it had a little pocket right here. And when I opened it, in the pocket was that little eye cover. And I never use an eye cover. Does anybody out there use one? And anyway, I'm like, I'm going to use that. And so when we crossed over to Newfoundland on the ferry, I put it on. Best sleep of my life that you can possibly get. Hey, Beth, on an actual ferry ride. So that was 7 hours over sea. Yeah, so basically you drive, for those of you who asked and wondered, you drive to the edge of Canada to Nova Scotia, North Sydney, literally where Sidney Crosby is from, okay? I should put everybody on the map. Everybody knows where that is. And yeah, you jump on a ferry there and it takes you over. Nan, how are you? I got to see my Nan. Everybody say hello, Nan. Please say hello to Nan in the comments. Sherry, how are you? Nan, I just saw that Mom posted, actually Aunt Loretta posted a picture of rhubarb jam, rhubarb and strawberries to make a beautiful jam. And I wrote back and I said, I think I'm going to try this recipe. And Mom said, I already made it yesterday. I had a beautiful time back home. Yes, you're seeing me rip up my clothes right now because, come on, we all know. When you need a rag and you can't find a rag, what do? You find a shirt that you've not worn in forever that feels not, not woolly-like, but rather will absorb. Because I'll show you the project that I'm working on today. I got back from Newfoundland. Tell me if you saw some of my videos and if you enjoyed it. I come from a very special place, and I'm going to be honest with you, completely honest with you. After this trip, I will say before this trip that I went home, I kept saying, like, I want to go to the forest. Like, I want to go, not off-grid, but it's people-y out there, right? And I'm just like, I just need to go and just have a retreat in the woods. I will live in the woods. I will have chickens. I'll have rhubarb and strawberries. I'll make my own jam, and and come on, tell me if you too have had that feeling where there are just some days with the hustle and bustle of life and the dumpster fire of life that you're just like, you know what? I just want to move away, far away. Lucky for me, I am from far away. And so going home on this trip, it was wonderful. It did so much, it brought me so much joy and peace. Because it was so far removed. And I said to friends up there, I'm like, when you come back home on the island, Kathy Fudge, I'm going to answer that question. When you come back home on the island, it is like a bubble. And in the hustle bustle of life, and we all know, tell me, put your hand up if you feel like I always say, and I have said, the last normal-ish year I had was 2019, and everything has been haywire and just wonky and sideways and just feels like, I don't even know what timeline we're living in, but went home and I didn't even pick up my phone other than to just like take some pictures of just beautiful views that I saw. I actually took my filming mount with me, and I said to myself, you know what, maybe I'll get to film a few tutorials while I'm home and do some videos. Well, my parents, because the nut doesn't fall far from the family tree, my parents are also entrepreneurs, and the reason I went home this specific week was because they have been celebrating 25 years in business, and I wanted to go home and I wanted to help Mom and Dad be there for that special time. And it was wonderful. And wow, it was wonderful. But you know what? We were so busy and in preparations. Every day there was an event. We dressed up in all kinds of pre-Confederation, old French times, hats, bonnets. We did the whole thing. All right. So when you go up there, my parents really roll out the welcome mat. There's music every night. We sang, we played music. There was food every day. They operate a tea room. And honestly, I'm trying to remember what year, way back when, early in their career, they got voted one of the top places to eat in Canada. And that place every year, they ended up getting voted for like, I don't know, for like 20 years or so, until that actual independent, rating, that business that did it, they went out of business literally after 2020-ish, right? When, like I said, the world just turned weird. And so anyway, Mom makes beautiful food, and there's all kinds of just people around. They visit the island, but I didn't get a chance to do other stuff. Like I thought, I was thinking when I went up there, like I'll film for my channels and for all the stuff that I do. And you know what? I got up there, and like I said, it was like you get on the ferry, you cross the ferry, and then you literally, it's a separate time zone. Like Newfoundland is an hour and a half ahead of me right now. And when you enter in that half a time zone, that 30-minute time zone, which sounds weird, you're like, does a place even exist like that? Yes, it does. And it is like a whole other place. And so it was wonderful, because the place that I've been craving to get to, don't forget the singing. Yes, Matt is convinced, Kathy, that after coming to where I'm from, and he's from here in Pennsylvania, which is where we make our home right now, where I'm coming to you live from Lake Erie. It's beautiful here. And if you've been following, you know that I love to go down to the lake every single day. I was already down there this morning. That's what I do. Every day I go to the lake. And quite honestly, the lake is the draw for me to this location. Like, seriously. It's a city, but I'm not a city girl, okay? So I live literally a mile from the gates of the Presque Isle Park, and that is life to me. The lake gives me life. But when you're on an ocean, it's a whole different ball game, right? I'm just a very nature-oriented person. So when I went home, oh my gosh, when I went home, I just felt like a weight was lifted off of me. A weight that you didn't even know was on you, just with the hustle and bustle. And I went home, and I'm like, wow. It gives you like space to really look back and think like how much you work, what you do, what you want to spend your time doing. Oh my gosh. And so for me, one of the things was like, I don't even want to be on my phone. I'm going to take some beautiful pictures to capture and share it. But I didn't even film anything. So in terms of like business wise, right? It was pure pleasure and pure joy. And it was literally the reset that I needed. Seriously, I posted stuff like, sorry, can't come to the phone right now, or gone to reset my soul. And that's what it was. And I did not realize just how hard I've been working. And when you go there, like I say, it's a whole other place. It's like the place that people dream of. And you see videos where people create just kind of romantic feels of waking up in the morning and hearing the birds and the water and the stages and the wharves and just people, friendly people. And oh my gosh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So, by the way, I'll show you what I'm working on right now as I go. So since I've come back, actually, sorry, my squeaky chair. This is not the comfortable chair. This is the nice looking chair with the hatch, the whole thing down here, the really cool chair. But I don't know how this chair got switched out, and this is not my comfy chair. But you do see a puffin in the background. So this is the Atlantic puffin. You saw me scroll back on my socials, and you'll see that I just finished up a jellyfish as well. All things that can be found on the island of Newfoundland. So I found myself very, very inspired when I came back to do just a lot of ocean stuff. That's just how I process as a creative. Like, I'll go out west to Arizona and then come back and paint like sunsets and just the earth and things like that. Just absolutely beautiful. So the puffin, and so now today, the project I'm working on is I came back in, and you know how when you leave your shop and you come back for a period of time and you look at it and you're like, this place needs more color. Like all my painted stuff is sold, and I've been collecting candlesticks as an example, and I have a ton of candlesticks because we sell candles here. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to start the project of painting all these candlesticks, and just think about it. Matt always joked and said that, Sonia's Candlestick Warehouse. In fact, you guys always comment on my videos and you're like, you're getting too many candlesticks. No, you can't have too many candlesticks. But I painted these, and I'm going to show you the finish that I'm going to put on them, okay? So when you are from the island, and this is why I paint stuff like this, puffins, which, fun fact, I'm just going to let you know for your next trivia outing, that I think it's like 95 or 98% of puffins in North America they are actually born on the island of Newfoundland and Labrador. That's the nesting spots for them amongst the cliffs. And so that's actually our official provincial bird. So I came back, and on a rock, it's literally called the Rock. Kathy says, did you pick any sea glass? I have tons of sea glass back home. I didn't get a chance to, it got taken out. I saw the buckets. Last time I was there even, I picked a bunch and left it because, you know, you have to cross the border, and so you have to be careful with what you bring and bring back and everything else, which is a whole other thing. But yeah, they let us out, they let me back. So here I am. But so I didn't get out to pick any this time around, but I still have like a treasure chest full of all kinds of good stuff that I picked. So everything is really, really weathered on the island. And so if you know me from my paint days, in fact, I posted a little nod to the Junk Monkey earlier. Tell me if you saw that. Tell me if you're painting. I want to know if you're painting. We put a pause on making furniture paint for a while. Just because, like I say, it's not been the same few years. Tell me if you know as well. And anyhow, I have been thinking about the Junk Monkey, but before I would unleash the beast, I would need to know who's painting out there, right? Because that's a whole thing. Otherwise, I just can make paint for myself and do projects. So I did a really cool finish, and I call this kind of like this is like my Newfoundland finish, okay? So if you see wharves, if you see boats, if you see wooden painted signs, you know, it's the beautiful power of Mother Nature, the elements, and you see that as well when you go out west, speaking about west, or whether you're down Key West in the US or wherever, but it's the power of nature, right? It gets the sun-kissed look, the salt just comes out and sprays on stuff. And it just really, really ages everything, right? So it dries out, it gets weathered. And when you're from a place called the Rock, everything there literally gets weathered, right? Like I grew up, my dad was a fisherman all his life. So I hung out around a lot of wharves and stages and things like that. And I would actually watch people repaint boats. So in my painting career, I have always loved to do sea-oriented stuff, hence the puffin behind me. But I always love the chippy finish, right? I always love that weathered look that literally, think year after year you paint something and every layer is a story. It's like, you know, you paint something and, you know, like grandma's window, you know, frames or something like that, doors that peel back and you see so many layers. I remember when Nam painted that door purple. True story. So this is my finish that I just did. Tell me if you too are a lover of just really, really old looks, right? It just has a lot of character. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and finish these off, and we're going to make them pop together because Matt made me some monkey shine. And this is the last little bit of monkey shine that I have from the last batch that we made. And I forgot that we actually did a lavender scent the last time that we put it out. It's a beeswax oil finish. And so this is candlesticks. So that was just the last little residue, that little bit that he poured for me. So what I'm doing is I have a special technique that I do for this finish, and I've sanded it back, and it's you can see like a blue gray that I did on this. Isn't that so fun? Don't make me start singing Little Mermaid under the sea. Hey Kim, how are ya? So to answer your question, Kathy, yes, I came back home. I can't find my my Junk Monkey wax brush, but I do have these stencil brushes. Stencil Sonia in the house. If you know, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. That'll be perfect to get into these little crevices. But I went back home and I reminded myself of like how much I actually missed home. And so, yeah, I left the island and I made the decision. We talked about it, me and Matt, and I'm going to be buying a home back on the island. So tell me if you're excited. I actually have started looking for a house back home. When I moved to the US, I told myself that I would not be here full time, and that what I would do is set myself up so that I could have live portion of the year down here. Okay, I gotta show you up close because we love a good monkey shine moment. What am I doing? What am I doing if I'm not showing you the beautiful, can you see it? Can you see it? How it just really brightens and brings the paint back. Oh, look at that, isn't that beautiful? I just did this technique. Tell me if you like it. because I've got so many pieces to paint, and I'm gonna do that while probably this week. Join me every day. Look for a video on my page every day this week, and it's gonna be all painting. And you can tell me if you're painting as well. Tell me if you missed the Junk Monkey. Inquiry minds want to know. This is a survey I'm asking. But yeah, I when I moved here, I told myself, and I also told my family, that I would not be here full time. And I have been living here in the US now 20 years full time. So I have spent over half my life here and half my life back home. And tell me if you're somebody who's moved away from home as well. Because, thank you, Barb. She says, I'm so happy for you and Matt. Happy house hunting. There was one that I really, really liked, and I made calls about it, but they're not ready to part with it. It's been sitting vacant, so, you know. But, you know, that gives me time to look and to raise the funds to be able to do that, right? So, but yeah, that is what I'm working on right now. I am literally getting myself organized so that I can spend, this is the ideal thing to me, would be spending the summer months back home, and then the winter months I can come and, like, you know, if we want to do Arizona, which has always been a place that me and Matt have wanted to move. We have always said to people who know us in our inner circle that, you know, we call this a portal that we opened up here in Erie, and it's been fun, but, you know, there's more places. You're not a tree. The whole reason I moved to the US was to get to see places and experiences. And I will tell you, coming off the island, it gives you perspective. It gives you perspective of, wow, what a big world it is out there. And in the US, I mean, I always said you can go north, south, east, or west and find a beautiful location. You can go to Colorado, you can go to California, you can go straight down to Key West. I mean, you can go to the Dakotas. Everything is so different. East Coast, right? And it's been amazing to see all of that the last 20 years. But also it gives you the perspective of, like, wow, home is always home. And sometimes you don't even realize what you have until you move, right? So you get that perspective and that appreciation. So tell me if you're somebody that's moved from home. And did you move back home, or do you take more time now to go back home, or just what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts? So after I put on the monkey shine, I'm just going to use a shirt, because like I said, that's what we do, right? You find an old shirt that you just don't wear anymore. And I'm going to do my other one here next. But look how pretty that is. Tell me if you love the look, the weathered, vintagey, cottage core, coastal. I mean, I just feel like it fills so many buckets of what it could be. So this is the other one. I'm about to go ahead. Can you see how one's like really darker than the other? That's because we saturated it. And what happens is when you use the monkey shine, it plugs the pores and goes in, and then you come in with a nice cloth and you clean it off, and everything stays really all the pores fill in, and then you wipe off the top layer until it feels nice and dry. And then it brings those colors like so vivid. I just did that spot. Sorry. What kind of a friend am I? Not even showing you. Right? All the juicy goodness. I need to be closer to you. Just to be close to you. All right. So pretty, right? So I'm going to do the rest of this. So all I did was did my paint technique. And then I sanded it, and I love it. I love it. I love it a lot. But yeah, tell me if you too know what I'm saying. I don't know, I just feel like I've reached a point in my life where I would love to spend more time back on the island. And honestly, I've been craving it. I've been craving it. I enjoy the hustle bustle, but I also enjoy a good retreat, returning back to nature. And so it was a beautiful trip. I hadn't been home in 7 years as well. And if you think 7 years, life has really changed in the last 7 years. And so I was supposed to go home literally in 2020. I was there in 2018. I was going to go back 2 years in 2020. That whole thing happened. And like I said, life has never been the same, right? Barb says she's moved away 35 years ago. Sonia, you, like yourself, time to come back and set up a small cottage life as well, right? Yeah. Yep. Yep. So I've been, you know, I've been out in the wild now, Barb, for 20 years. Okay, I left the island, and I'm ready to go home. So I would be considering myself a snowbird. You know, one of those Canadians that you hear that live a portion up north, and then also down here, right? So what's really nice is that I'm able to work on both sides of the border, so that's cool, you know. And so I don't have anything to worry about, and I can actually run a business from both places, which is really nice. So I think I want to do that. You know, I always tell other people, I'm like, you want to do it? You should do it. Do you ever feel like that? Like that you're the person who's like, oh my gosh, do it. Girl, you want to do it? You should do it. You know, you're not a tree. You can move. And anyhow, that's me right now, right? Taking my own advice and going, because there's no regrets. I'm sorry, there's going to be no regrets. I'm just somebody, just like there's no regrets on the moves I've made in the past and the changes I've made in the past. There is no regrets, you know, but life is short. Like, this ain't no dress rehearsal. This is life now. So if there's something you want to do, you better do it, because wow, you know, watching the news, man, isn't it crazy? The news today with Hulk Hogan and then Ozzy, and you know, time is flying, right? Anita says, I miss all the paints you used to have, and I followed you from the start, and we are going, and are you going to go junkie again? Well, I kind of been like hinting around at that. And in fact, I just put out a little video about it, and one of you guys wrote, and you're like, don't tease us. I'm like, maybe it's not a tease. Maybe there's some truth to that. We took a little pause. You know, we had to take a little pause. Different time, different season. But the reason I put it on pause was because just how we went through a period of time where everybody was we had to stay home. Everybody did a ton of projects, and when we got out, things really shifted and changed, and projects fell by the wayside, right? Do I feel like maybe now we're getting far enough away where, you know, people are looking for things that they can do at home, save money, you know, just with the uncertainty of the future that always exists. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but you look for ways to save money. You look for things that you can do at home. Things don't cost a lot of money. And that's how I actually got into painting with Junk Monkey. Was I could not afford a can of what was on the actual shelves of paint. And so Matt made a paint for me, and I got it to just the way I love to paint with. Turns out many of you guys love to paint with it as well. And but that was because I moved to the US and I started over 20 years ago and had nothing to my name. And so I would go out and I would find stuff by the side of the road and I would paint it. So, you know, that's how it started. It's funny how things come full circle, right? So if you're just joining me, I am saying I had a beautiful trip. It gave me much to think about, much to ponder, and for the future. And I'm currently painting, and I've been painting canvas, but right now this week I'm going to be doing a lot of like projects and stuff that I have for sale in my shop. You guys have seen me thrifting, so if I still have it and it has not sold, I'm going to look at redoing it, just giving it a different look. And but I'm going to tell you that if I saw these candle holders, and I did a whole texture thing with them. Tell me if you like it, if you like this look. This is a personal technique, you know, me in the shabby life. Fun fact, when I actually opened up Junk Monkey Paint, it was called Sonia's Shabby Chic. And that was the big sign going up over the business. And I remember that I actually bought it, like my first sign, from a sign company, and it was a lot of money. I mean, I was even nervous to like rent a space, and I had to pay first month's rent and security and everything else. But when I opened it, I remember, like, you know, he sent me a proof of what over the door would look like. And it was going to be on plexiglass, and it has Sonia's Shabby Chic on it, and it had these really cool, like, ornate borders and stuff like that in the corners. And then he told me he was going to put the sign up. I'm like, perfect. Okay, great. And all of a sudden, the sign truck showed up, and it actually had a crane on the back of it. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, oh my God. My name is going on a building. Like, it's gonna go up over the door. Terrifying, terrifying, right? Like, oh my gosh, what if I fail? My name is still up there. Takes a leap of faith and a lot of trust to do that. But I look back, and as part of that, in painting things like this for my store at this time, and doing my own techniques with a paint that Matt made for me, us together, and we kind of finessed it to get it just right, the paint took off. And that is when Junk Monkey Paint was born. I'm still Sonia and I love shabby chic, but the business took on a whole other name. So let me know. This is an official video to ask, is anybody out there still painting? Do you miss the Junk Monkey? Do you miss getting crafty? And just kind of refurbishing things, upcycling things? Let me know. I would love to hear from you below. I will be reading the comments because I know a lot of you guys will be catching this on replay. So let me know. All right, so this is going to be gorgeous with some candles into it. So we've given it an entire different look. Lucky for me, I remembered to take the before photo. So I'll put up a video, okay? Barb says it's crazy for sure, Sonia. Life is too short. I'm going to spread my tiny wings and fly away all the way back home. Oh, you will love it. You will love it. You know, you got to listen to those, just the hits that you get, you know, those feelings that you get inside. Those are the prompts. Those are your internal, Pam, how are ya? The internal GPS system to your soul, right? Those are the things that through experiences, you gain experience, you gain wisdom, and your gut reaction, your intel, you know what you got to do, you know what's right, you know how you've been feeling. And it's when we push back those feelings that's when things become out of like alignment, out of sync, and we start to go a little crazy, right? So for me, I know that I need to put some roots back down home to stay grounded, and that's what I need right now. So I'm excited. So follow along the journey. I'll show you what I find in terms of house hunting, and I'm just getting everything in order to be able to financially purchase a home. I will say that where I'm looking, homes are a lot cheaper than down here, right? Or out in a big market. It's an island. It's a rural area. You can only get to it by plane or by boat. So, you know, it's almost like you go back in time. It's a time machine for sure. You go back and you're like, wow. You know, I brought home actually these necklaces right here, the paperclip necklaces, which are all the rage right now. And when I went home, I picked up 2 to give to my 2 nieces, and I helped them pick, or I helped them with like ideas for like a charm, and I put a charm on it for them. And I said, I brought you up 2 of these paperclip necklaces, right? They're all the rage. They're all really, really popular right now. And I wanted you girls to have one. So pick a charm, we'll put it on it. And they'd never seen that before. And I thought, wow, like, it's interesting how things up there reach up there a little bit later. Kathy says, yes, your paint is the best. Tried others, it's not the same. Still have, you do, yeah, you still have some of it. I actually still have some as well. So our paint lasts a long time. And when we made it, we put a lot of things into it that would like keep it longer over multiple, like if there was a freeze cycle. Anyway, we did all that stuff, right? So anyhow, the trip was amazing, but yeah, it is definitely a gem. It is a treasure, and it was just a really, really amazing time. So I come back all inspired, and now I know kind of like what I want to do next, right? Because tell me if you've been feeling it the last few years. It's a really crazy time. It's a crazy time in business. It's a crazy time in personal life, just all around, right? If you feel it, just say yes. Let me know if you feel it too. So I'm going to put myself this week into painting and creating. I'll be watching your comments, kind of feeling things out, and we'll go from there. But I hope that you will join me again tomorrow afternoon. What time is it now? I think you're on my phone. It's 3:08. So I'll probably be live again tomorrow. Let's say, what do you think, 2 p.m.? I feel like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That should be good after lunch. It's kind of a little bit in between there. Where I think it will be good to step away. So I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I'll bring in other projects, some different colors, show you what I'm up to. But I hope you will take the time to say hello. If I haven't connected with you in a long time, I'd love to hear from you below, and I'll go back and read your comments. All right, friends, make it awesome. Make it really awesome, because you can. Pam says, I still do. Oh, I still do too. Very nice. So I miss your videos of you painting and recreating old pieces. Yeah, we put a lot of videos out there, didn't we? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll talk more tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Bye.